Hello everyone, welcome to another Android beginner tutorial. In this tutorial we are going to talk about a lot of different UI components including text views, edit text, buttons, switches and so on. So let's get started. The first type of UI component that we are going to look at is called a text view. Text view is not new to us. We have been using text view from before, but we can take a look at text view in detail in this video. Like all the other UI components, TextView also requires the layout width and layout height, and these need to be mentioned as match parent or wrap content. So if I change this to match parent, then the width of the text view would take the width of the parent layout. And if we see that, now we could see the width of the text view is the width of the parent. And there is something called as gravity. So if we want the text to be center aligned, we use something called as Android gravity, and we could say center as we want the text to be aligned center. And as you saw, there are other options if we want them to be aligned in a different way. And there's something called as Android text size, and we can change this to whatever size we want. Usually it's better that we use SP, and we're not going to get into details why SP is better than the other, but usually SP is used and it is a standard that we use SP. And now you could see the size of the text view is changed. So if I change this to 50 SP, then the size is even increased more. If we want the text color to be changed, there's something called as text color, and we can give a hex value of the color. I'm going to give this red, and now the text appears in red. If we want the text to be bold, italic or underlined, there is an option to do that as well. We call it text style, and here you could see bold, italic or normal, and I'm going to select bold, and we could see that the text view is now in bold. And if we change this to italic, then the text view is now in italic style. Now let's take a look at what edit text means. I'm going to change the text view to edit text and the ID to ET, which stands for edit text. And similar to all the other UI components, we require a width and a height. And since these are not required for the edit text, I'm going to delete those options. And let's see how to customize edit text one by one. So edit text is a bit different from text view. And if we require user input, for example, if the user is trying to type something in the app, or if you want the user to enter their location, their address, or their email address or phone number, etc., we use something called as edit text. And we can use something called as hint. The hint is the text that gets filled, that gives the user a hint to what they are entering. So I'm going to say enter your email address. So now you see this is the hint, and for you to better understand, I'm going to run this on the emulator. So I'm hitting play for the app to run. So let's see how the edit text appears on the emulator. So as you could see, the enter your email address hint that we gave is already defined, and when the user presses on their email address, notice that the hint is gone. So when the user starts typing it, the hint disappears, and when there's no text, the hint appears again. So this can be used for entering email address, physical address, phone number, etc. when you want user to type in some kind of text in a form or similar. Now let's take a look at buttons. As the name suggests, buttons are used to get a click action from the user. So I'm creating a button and giving it a width and a height of wrap content, and our button needs an ID, and for button I usually use B, and I'm going to say B1, and let's place this button below our edit text, and I'm going to say ET1, and let's have a margin of 20 dp, and the text of the button denotes the text that is displayed to the user on the button. So I'm going to say send email, and now if we see the UI, you could see send email button is created. And if we want the button to be centered, there's something called as Android center horizontal, and we need to give this as true. So center horizontal means that the button will be aligned center horizontally, but if it's given as vertical, then the button will be aligned center vertically. And if center and parent is given, then the button would get aligned both horizontally and then vertically as well. So let's try to run this. Now, as you could see, the button gets displayed center as we indicated, and then the user clicks, something happens. Notice that we have just created the UI. We haven't indicated what happens when the button click is performed or what happens with the text in the edit text. To code how to handle when a button click is performed, we need to use Java. We will see how to get the button and set up an on-click listener in the next tutorial. This is Alex Vijayaraj. Have a good one.